One of the earliest ways to dictate whether a man actually loves or is lusting after you is his desire to shift pants.
Welcome to Let's Talk Scriptures with VIP. I am Vitalis Imabong Patient, and I have with me
Idika Michael is my name. You're welcome.
Wisdom Richard Poyere is my name. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Today we'll be looking at a very interesting topic, the contrast between love and lust. And our anchor scripture will be taken from 2 Samuel chapter 13 from verse 1 to the end.
Interesting.
Wisdom Poyere, what do you have to say about this scripture? Looking at Ammon, Jonadab, Tamar, and David, who should be faulted?
If you talk about faulting anybody, I think that the blame should go to the one who initiated it, which of course is our brother, Ammon. And of course, why we fault him, the reason why we need good people to surround ourselves is because should we have defective thought patterns, our friends should be able to draw us back to the correct line. But he had somebody around him in the person of Jonadab who advised him even wrongly on how to perfect his very bad plans. So for me, the two of them are at fault. Yeah?
I disagree with you.
So what do you think?
I think Ammon is matured. He should be able to tell when something is wrong.
So let me ask you a question. Now, let me ask you a question. Why do presidents of nations get special advisors? Are they not mature?
Do you want to tell me that it is all the advices that is given to them that is
they see, but there are some they don't have sufficient details and just go into it implicate the father for what has happened. The father in his innocence have granted the permission as requested by his son that his sister should make food for him. What's wrong in that?
You should have at least as a father know why the son was very
so what is the error in you asking your sibling to come and make food for you that your father should interrogate it?
They had chefs. That's my point.
They had chefs.
Why
so
would his sister?
What would you say of a man? No, I disagree with you completely.
All right, sir.
Let's get that sorted out. What would you say of a man who has several chefs but insists that his wife must make his meal?
I think you called it a wife.
Exactly.
But this time it is his sister. Blood sister at that. They are the same father.
Okay. Do you think that this has to do about love and lust? Because immediately he slept with his sister, he got angry, he got upset about the sister.
Clearly, when you look at what played out between Tamar rather, his sister, it was completely an issue of lust, which was disguised in love. Ammon actually felt he loved his sister, and then he communicated same to Jonadab. And in their craftiness in coming out with a way out to express his love, it clearly showed that it was lust rather. Lust in itself has a sexual feeling that drives it. Once you have satisfied that sexual appetite, once you are down from your heat moment, your senses will return to ground zero. And that's how you know that you were driven by lust. Reading from scriptures, even if you look at Galatians chapter 5 and verse 19, you will see that the desire that births lust is always evil. The intention from the word go was wrong. He just wanted her. And so when he had her, he hated her even much more than he had loved her before. So clearly it was a story of lust and not love. And a number of young people are caught in this web of being confused between whether they are loving or lusting. And that's a dilemma. So ab initio, it was a conversation around lust that was clouded in love. But then to speak to young people today, a number of young people are also caught in this web of I'm in love, I'm being loved by this person. One of the earliest ways to dictate whether a man actually loves or is lusting after you is his desire to shift pants. So once the intention is to have a sexual dealing with you, you know that the motivation is basically lust. Yeah. And so for us as Christians, lust is off the table. Love is encouraged, the agape kind of love, But building towards marriage and forming a home, then we'll begin to talk about, of course, God is the perfect example of love. And the Bible tells us God is love.
Yes.
And so for young people, I'd like to say to us, let us not be deceived. Let's not get caught in the web of being confused between somebody who professes love when he's actually driven by lust. For us as believers, we would always say, look at what Jesus has done, which is our perfect example of love, and follow it. And I think that would lead us to the very place where He who has fashioned, designed, and created us wish and look forward to seeing us.
Wow. Thank you very much, Dr. Wisdom.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure to
Thank
be
you so
here, and we look forward to much more fruitful engagement as we dissect scriptures.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank you
Mr.
so much.
Edika.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, my listeners. I believe you've been thrilled with this episode on Let's Talk Scriptures with VIP. I would want to engage you all and indulge you to follow us on all our social media platforms, on Facebook as Patience Paradise, on Instagram as Scriptures with VIP, on YouTube as Let's Talk Scriptures with VIP. As we look forward to the next edition. Thank you.